No echoing, no echoing.
Viven en un country. Andan en BMW para arriba. Los fines de semana se cogen a las mejores minas. Morfan bien todos los días. El día anterior al partido durmieron tranquilamente en un hotel 5 estrellas y se rascaron la verga durante 24 horas sin hacer nada, jugando al ping-pong y al pool y a la play. Juegan al fútbol todos los días de su vida. Los botines, $6.000, 5.000 pesos, no sé cuánto salen. Ponele 3.000 mangos, 4.000 mangos. Están vendados por un kinesiólogo. Están bien comidos, están bien entrenados. Las medias, que son las que no te cortan la circulación, los pantaloncitos, que son los de los huevos, que no te raspan los huevos, la camiseta te estira la espalda, es la que no transpira, que sale 800 pesos, no sé cuánto sale una camiseta para jugar al fútbol. La pelota es perfecta, perfecta, 120 euros. Inflada con un barómetro a 8 bares. La cancha no tiene un solo pozo. El arco tiene 7 metros 20 por 2,40. Te aplauden cuando salís a la cancha. La concha de tu madre, ¿no sabés parar una pelota? ¿Le vas a pagar al arco y la tirás a la mierda? ¿Le vas a hacer un pase a tu compañero que está a 1 metro? Y haces así, se la pasas mal. Hijo de puta, eso me puede pasar a mí con esta panza. No hago...
Love it.
Every time, man.
Big up people. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you everyone's doing well, bro. Hey, listen, the sun just coming this way. It is. I can't see properly. Do you know what I'm saying? So apologies to everyone. It's a beautiful day, to be honest. It is a beautiful day, but the sun's still hot, and it's like what, 6 o'clock? Crazy, bro. It's blinding me. I can't lie. But big up to everyone that's locked in. Listen, people. Arsenal, Dortmund. What are we going to talk about? I mean, I know it's pre-season. Like, people need... I know it's pre-season and everything. Big up Jalil, by the way. Big up Kieran. Big up everyone that's locked in. Big up all the real ones. Lenny Moon in the house. Big up to everyone. Smash the likes up as well, bro. Smash the likes up. Share. Comment. All the good stuff. All the good stuff. I mean, look, pre-season or not, I mean, yesterday I was talking to someone that works with me, and he was like, oh, it's just pre-season. It's not that deep, blah, blah, blah. I was like, the problem isn't it being pre-season. The problem is it losing the same way we were losing last season and the season before that. And we were playing the same football that we always play. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's one of our biggest problems. We still got a lot of players on this team that don't deserve to be here. We even have starters that don't even deserve to start. I mean, there's certain players that we have to upgrade on. We've only bought what? Bruno G. That's a significant replacement probably on, and we're thinking about selling Lewis Skelly, which we'll get into in a bit. But overall, bro, I think Dortmund played way better than us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. So we brought Bruno G. That's 29 years old, nearly 30. That's not the problem. Bruno G's a baller. Don't get me wrong. To sell a 19-year-old that should be learning from Bruno G. What do I know? Jez, I don't know if you watched the Arsenal Dortmund game. I probably you did. But what was your thoughts, man, in general?
I didn't see it, mate. I didn't know it was on the Arsenal YouTube for free, so I didn't see it after they cancelled our pre-season game subscription. Shit show that was. I'm not being funny, man, but a club the size of Arsenal and the website crashes. Dear. Not good. But we're getting our money back, so fair play. Getting back, I didn't see the game, so I can't really comment, but I've talked to enough people to tell me it was pretty much a shit show. As you just said, usual crap. We haven't changed. We haven't improved. My concern is we've still got players that shouldn't be here. They should have been gone. We should be looking to get rid of them, but we know Arteta won't because they're his favourites. Apparently, I'm told Odegaard was crap again. Some people agree with that. Some people will disagree with that. But I don't see any improvement. And that's my worry. We've just won the Premier League first time in 22 years, and we should be up in our game because other teams are up in their game. buying players, reinvesting, looking to build. And this is where I have the criticism for the management in general. I'm not just blaming Arteta on this. I'm blaming the whole setup because we've done this, guys, so many times in the past history. We win a Premier League or a Division 1 and we don't invest. Yes, we bought Bruno G. That's a great asset. I think his link up with Rice, if Rice stays fit, will be brilliant. But we need more. Gyökeres apparently was poor in that game, from what I've been led to believe. And so, what are we doing here? We've got players, Odegaard still here, right? He needs to go. He's not good enough at Arsenal. I'm sorry. So, at the end of the day, that's my concern. And I'll give you a prediction now. Right now, season ain't even started yet. We are not winning the Premier League. Tell you now. Not
Straight
the way
up, Jez, yeah. What if we change our ways and something, I don't know, a miracle happens, which it won't, but, you know, is that the only way Arsenal win the league?
We need to bring in new assets and, sorry to say it, people, change the style of play big time because it's flat, it's too defensive, there's no attacking element. So what's that say to you? Get rid of the bloody manager. Last night I did a show with Kenny and Shano, and we were saying, somebody put a question in, are you concerned that, big up BBK, are you concerned that Arteta hasn't signed a new contract? Absolutely not. Absolutely not am I concerned. Because I don't think, from what I've seen in this 6-year period, getting into 7 years now, what has been the improvement? And I said a couple of months back, was it that Arsenal were that good, or was it that the rest of the teams were falling over? I think it's the latter, personally. City had the odd hiccup here and there, threw games away. Man United beat us at home, but couldn't get it over the line. Chelsea were pretty poor. Tottenham very nearly got relegated. So, was it Arsenal that good? I don't think so. I think we played some nice football at times. We did very well in the Champions League. I can't deny that. But once again, couldn't get it over the line. Go to a final, and the man's defending a 1-0 lead. You can't do that in a cup final against PSG. Because that second half, they were all over us. Look what happened in the League Cup final against Manchester City. Probably one of the worst cup finals I've ever seen Arsenal play. Big up, GR. You know what I mean? So, there's my concern for you, is the fact that the style of play is not good enough. It's too defensive, it's too flat. And people say, oh, well, yeah, you watched George Graham's teams. Yes, I did. And we had a fantastic defence, a better defence than we've got now, that is for sure. And I'm not bringing in Saliba or Gabriel in that. It was a much more solid defence. But we also had goal scorers in that team. Alan Smith.
Could you elaborate on that, Jez, a little bit, just a little bit, to like, you know, obviously some of us didn't catch that time, but, you know, did we have the same attack that we're seeing right now?
No, it was totally different. Alan Smith banging 30 goals a season, twice on the trot, 2 seasons on the bounce, right? Ian Wright in there. Paul Merson when he first came in. We had a totally different style of play. Yes, it was like some people said, oh, it's 1-0 boring Arsenal. Yeah, and I agree with that. I do agree with that to a point. But we had a midfield that could swamp other midfields, particularly, you know, 89 when we went to Anfield and won the game 2-0. It was impossible. Nobody, but I can assure you, right, in that game in the Anfield Road end, nobody really believed that that was possible. We hadn't won there for 14. We hadn't beaten them. I mean, for 14 years, and to go to Anfield and win by 2 clear goals and win the Division 1. Come on. It was a pipe dream, but it happened because of an excellent manager who set the team up well, and we had a fantastic defence. Kevin Richardson, you know, immense player for Arsenal. But at the end of the day, it was a different style of play, man. You know, we could defend excellently, but we could also bloody attack. So that made the difference. And that is why, in the years that George Graham was here, we won numerous trophies. But, again, when we won at Anfield, we didn't invest properly to go on and do it again. So that's the Arsenal way, I'm afraid. You know, we've only ever done it in the 1930s. 3 on the bounce, Division 1. We've never done it ever since. Man United have, Man City have, Liverpool have. I'm not sure about Chelsea, but somebody will correct me. But at the end of the day, are we going to do under this manager? No.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I hear a lot of people talking about defensive. I've seen defensive coaches before. Don't do that, bro. I've seen defensive coaches that can actually attack, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Dark side. I'm sure it was a dark night for us. I saw you watch the game. What was your thoughts in general, bro?
To be honest, bro, like I watched the full game. There wasn't anyone in particular that I think played a good performance. I think Ranieri was probably, in my opinion, the standout. Max Dalman probably had his worst game in an Arsenal shirt. And oh my god, Gyökeres, man. As a Gyökeres defender, that was hard. That was a hard watch, man. That was a hard watch. He was the hold-up play, his shots, his decision making, and his lack of tech. Man, that was really, really uncomfortable to watch, man. That was, yeah. You know, watching Gyökeres was like more uncomfortable when you're on a night bus by yourself and that one crackhead guy sits right next to you on an empty bus. It was that uncomfortable. It was that uncomfortable to watch Gyökeres, bro. I rather crackhead.
That is dark, bro. That is very dark, bro.
It was dark, man. Yeah, and you know what? I think I may have mentioned it in your last show, but even outside of the Dortmund performance, it's still concerning that Reece Nelson, Fabio Vieira, these scrubs are still coming on for Arsenal in 26-27. I know it's pre-season, but still. Yeah, I can't lie, man. I'm a bit worried. I'm really worried about what I'm seeing. I'm not seeing good football. Defensively, we look all over the place. 3 goals conceded again. I know it's pre-season, but again, I don't like to look into pre-season too much. I mean, I think PSG lost 3-0 as well, but I try not to look into it too much. But at the same time, I want to see good performances. And if I'm not going to see a good performance, I want to see the manager tinker with things and experiment. You know, play a bit more progressive, and at least if I'm going to lose, I want it to be a bit more entertaining. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really seeing anything that is making me feel positive. Yeah, like there's
to play football.
Yeah, like try something like a 4-4-2, a bit more progression. Play Ranieri as a false 9. Try something. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I don't know about anyone else on the panel, but there's not one thing I saw over the last, even outside the Dortmund game, over the last couple of games, I've seen that I thought, you know what? Yeah, I like that. That's different. That's new. We're playing a bit quicker. We're transitioning a bit better. Our passing is crispier. I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's not looking good. It's not looking good, man. It's not looking good.
No, it's not, my friend. No, it's not looking good, bro. Like whether it's the football, whether it's the conceding goals. Big up Normski, General man in the arena is saying who's starting. Is my boy Dalman starting? Facts, bro. 100%. Hopefully Dalman's starting. He's the only one that has a little bit of something going on. Do you know what I'm saying? I see something happening when it's going to his side. A lot of people talk about obviously Zolis, but the thing is about Zolis, if he's gonna be our GA player, then cool. If not, I don't know. He doesn't do much apart from be that GA player. You know those kind of Nat Star. You know what I'm talking about, where goals and assists, but he's out of the game. You know, Salah like a Salah. Would you? Do you know what I'm saying? You're looking at Amares that will make the team better, or a Salah that would score for himself, get assists here and there, but hardly does anything the whole game. He was all right, I guess, but still, we're looking. Sean is saying the question for you guys: would you consider in the eye? 100%, bro. Ndiaye is a baller, but I
All
want a
day.
little bit more. I want, yeah, dirty
All day,
football.
bro.
But like,
All day.
what I mean is like, I want. I don't know, but you Nats, this is to you as well. I want a world class. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Ndiaye is not there now, but I need someone right now. I need a Vinny kind of caliber. What was your thoughts in that game, Nats? And obviously, what would you respond to that Ndiaye question?
I'll start with the Njai one first. Considering we've now sold Norgard to them on the cheap, I don't see why we can't get him for like 40 to 50 mil. Do you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
The wages won't be
Facts.
an issue, and he slots straight in. For me, he gets in over Zolis, bruv. And then Zolis has to earn his place and justify that 90 grand a week, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? It's as simple as that when it comes to that question. And big up for the question, by the way. When it comes to the Emirates Cup, bruv, that was a shit show. That was an absolute shit show, right? Odegaard, I believe he started as well. Like, fucking hell. Like, but again, it's like in every single pre-season match, yeah, this manager's basically started the same team. Kepa has started every single game, bruv. Why isn't... Look, I don't rate Meslier.
Oh, but he's trying things, Nats. He's trying
He
things.
ain't trying shit, bruv. He ain't trying shit. You know what? He reminds me of that guy at work that just like, you know, like he'll press like a few buttons as soon as the manager walks past, yeah? And then when the manager's gone, he's just like, you know, just swinging around.
Does he piss you off, Nats? Yeah.
Look, like, I mean, like, at the end of the day, right, he ain't doing shit, bruv. You know, our defence, yeah, our greatest defence, yeah, you know, modern times and all that shit, yeah. We've conceded 7 goals, bruv. Yeah. We scored.
Is it Saliba or is it? Is it Saliba? Is it because all I'm hearing is the system? But as soon as you take away Saliba and Declan Rice in that midfield, long day, Nats, innit?
I think it's
long
a combination of everything, Rashid. I think, you know, to what Jez was saying earlier, like, I agree. I think everyone else fell off last season, but it's not going to be like that this season. We basically got a community shield. Yeah, we obviously got Como tonight, but we've got the community shield on Sunday, bruv. Yeah, do not be surprised if we get pammed, bruv. Yeah, by not even a Pep City, by a Maresca City. Whether Rodri's there or not won't really make that much of a difference. It might give them an extra goal or two, but bar that, we'll get played off the park, bruv. Because from what I saw against Dortmund, yeah, that was not even a second team Dortmund. That was basically a third team, yeah? Other than Sabitzer and Joe Bellingham, that was it, bruv. That's all they had. That's all they had. And we struggled, bruv. Ben White, why the fuck is he still here? Yeah? Why is he still here? Obviously, Odegaard, Havertz, bruv, in midfield. Why does this manager keep persisting with him playing in midfield? It didn't work before. It cost us the league title in 23-24. You think it's going to get us back to back? You think it's going to get us over the line in the Champions League? I don't think so, bruv. I don't think so. We still got Calafiore, who ain't a defender, and he's injury prone. But apparently Kieran Tierney was so injury prone. He's the only proper left back, full back that we had. And we got rid of him on a free. Disgrace. Absolute fucking disgrace. And when it comes to the overriding problem, what is the common denominator? Yeah, it's the Cronkies. Because really at this point, it doesn't really matter who's our DOF, who's our CEO, up to a certain point, who the manager is. The Cronkies employed these motherfuckers, and yet we're still selling players on the cheap. We're still overpaying for crap, holding on to crap. Do you know what I'm saying? And expecting us to accept crap. It's just a cesspool of fucking crap. shit all over the gaff. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not on. And whoever's on transfers, whoever's doing them contract negotiations, en la basura, in the fucking bin. See you next Tuesday, bruv. Certifiably, because I'm sick to death.
Is it time to question Berta? Dare I say?
I've been criticising Berta, but the one guy that was under the radar that I even forgot about was Garlic. Yeah, Garlic breath, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? He can fuck off right now, bro. I don't care. I don't fucking care. Yeah. CEO. Yeah. Like what is it? Vinay. Yeah, the DFS sofa salesman and that. And then before we had Ivan Gazidis. Yeah. Ivan Gazidis was bad, but he was never this fucking bad. Do you know what I'm saying? But yet the same patterns, pattern recognition 101, you're still seeing it live and direct and in full effect. We're not even expecting our board, our ownership to do what Real Madrid do, what Bayern Munich do, what PSG have been doing for the past few years. We're expecting the bare minimum, yeah? If you've got players with 2 years left or even 1 year left on their contract, get as much as you can. And when you do contract renewals, yeah, don't double and treble their wages. Oh, just to be like, we're a family, guys. None of that. No. None of that bollocks, yeah? Zolis as a case in point, yeah? Why didn't we put Zolis on 40 grand a week, 35 grand a week? If we're going to increase his wages, do it little by little, bit by bit, even with inflation in this modern market and that, you know? But it's clear that we haven't learned. Reece Nelson's still here, 100k a week. That scrub Fabio Vieira, 45k. And we're looking to sell Lewis Skelly, man like Miles Lewis Skelly, bro.
But Nats, here's my question to you. Why are we overpaying? Why are we overpaying for these players? Like, we're not buying anyone that's world class. Why, as in world class, ready world class? Why are we overpaying? For what reason?
Yeah, but Rashid, Arteta's got the pull. Arteta's got the pull. That's what we've been hearing for the past few years. Arteta's got the pull. Do you know what I'm saying? But yet Morgan Rodgers don't want to be here.
I disagree with you, my friend, because I think we overpay because he hasn't got the traction, right?
No, but that's the point. What I was saying,
he's being sarcastic.
Like the top gooners are talking about like, we've got the pull. Do you know what I'm saying? Arteta's got the pull. Yeah, he's the best manager in the world. Blah 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 blah.
Fair enough.
If that's the case, why didn't we sign Morgan Rodgers? And if we didn't sign Morgan Rodgers, why didn't we sign Vinny?
Yeah.
In terms of world class, what you're saying, Rashid, if I was Andrea Berta and all of that, I'd be having a word to Josh Conkin, just like, look, we need a left winger. We need a world class left winger. Go test out PSG's resolve and see how much Cavra's going to cost, innit? And whatever they want, pay it. Do you know what I'm saying?
How much would Kvaratskhelia be in your opinion?
Well.
How much would he be? 200? 200?
I'd say 150 maybe. We'll get them. We'll get the conversation going. Do you know what I'm saying? It will bring the conversation to the table. I think 150 mil, but maybe sort of like 170 to get it over the line. 175. But again, if we could sell well, not even like. And here's the thing: because we're in such a shit situation when it comes to PSR, like the wages. Yes. You know, with all the holdings, you know, that Arsenal got, you know, the revenue across the board, etc., etc. We're minted. Of course, we're minted. But when it comes to, like, you know, our wage situation, it's shocking. It's shocking because when you start bringing in world-class, proper elite level players, they're looking at it like, well, you know, Reece Nelson's on 100k. Do you know what I'm saying? Timber's on like what 90k, but he'll be up to 200k. David Ra's on 100k, he'll be up to 200k at least. You know, you've got Odegaard, you've got Havertz, Gabriel Jesus, bruv. Why that guy is still here is beyond me, bruv. Yeah, just rip up his I don't care unless we can.
But you think he's forcing it, Nats, because you need his. He's forcing it. He wants either you rip up my contract or I'm staying here. He wants to fight. He believes that he deserves a place. I think Gabriel Jesus' ego has been hurt. Do you know what I'm saying? Because Gabriel Jesus at one point was a Class B player. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think he still wants to go for it because he's not leaving, bro. Like nothing happened so far. I mean, we don't know, obviously, because he might end up at. That's a conversation for later. Do you know what I'm saying? But
yeah. But to be honest, this manager thinks thinks he's still a striker, just like he still thinks that Havertz can play in midfield. When Jesus is actually a left winger, and Havertz is a second striker, if that, and even then, they're both not good enough. Time to cut ties. What is with this sentimental shit? And very quickly, before I end it off, yeah, like I saw what was it, one of Dan Potts' streams? I can't remember the guy's name, yeah, but he was talking about, would you get rid of Odegaard and all of that? And he's just like, no. And I'm talking like, what? You wouldn't get rid of Odegaard?
why? What's his reason?
I don't
What's
care
his
if
reason?
Sentimental, bruv. It's sentimental vibes, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? We're a family, all of this fucking bullshit. And it's just like, let it go, bruv. Let it go. It's done. It's done. These players, yeah, they've served their purpose. To be honest, most of them are even lucky that they're even considered a Premier League winner. Do you know what I'm saying? And all of this talk of, we can't sell players after them being there for a year. Well, Norgard's gone. There was talk that Zubimendi was going to go out the door. And if any player is likely to go, it'll probably be him, because of the fact that he's not on high wages. He's on 75k a week. And then we've got fucking Noddy Madueke, the brave little toaster, bruv, on 150k a week, bruv. Like, it's abysmal. It's absolutely abysmal, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? The bandana merchant, bruv. He needs to dash that in the bin. But yeah, like, I'm tired of it, Rashid.
What, he thinks he's Ronaldinho, yeah? Big up, big up.
Oh, mate.
Big up now, each and every time, bro.
Yeah,
big up to you, man. Big up, man. Big up Lynch as well, bro. Nice to see you. Twofold is staying our tears. Oh my God. Big up to you, man. Big up, big up, big up. Listen, you know who we got today. You know, it's BBK back in the building, people. He's back in the building. Listen, the founder of the word Arteta tax. See this man in the cipher, the Arteta bullshit. Trust me. Can you decipher that the Arteta bullshit that happened? Arsenal against Dortmund. What happened there?
Nah, I can't decipher it because I didn't watch it, man. I don't put any stock in the preseason. I damn sure wasn't gonna spend my vacation time on the island watching some preseason game. You know what I mean? If it was, yeah, I just can't. Like the thing with I watch preseason, or I look at preseason just for fitness and sharpness. Guys, get your fitness, get your sharpness. Just, even after today's game, after Como, I would look at the lineup. I would look at the squad and, hey, did anyone get injured? Because it's inconsequential. There's really nothing that I can take away from the game that's going to help us beat Villa, Chelsea, and Coventry in the first weeks. You know what I mean? So I'm not ready to crash out. I remember last year we lost to Tottenham, then we conceded 3 to Villarreal, in preseason. I just think preseason should be, the sole focus should be about, fitness and sharpness. As far as the Bertha thing goes, the transfer window is when your director of football or your sporting director is supposed to shine, right? This is when they earn their money. Of course, all year long you make links, you build your network, you do all that stuff. But the transfer window is when you really make your money. When the season starts is when we'll put our foot on Arteta's neck. When he is, if he continues to make the same mistakes that he made last year, like Nat said earlier, playing Havertz in the midfield, this and that. I get why he's playing Havertz in the midfield now, because all our midfielders are not here. The Deckers are not here. Bruno G just signed. I expect him to feature today. But as far as the preseason goes, man, I'm really not concerned whatsoever. Even the Community Shield on Sunday, I don't think we'll get packed in. But regardless of the result, I just hope we get out of there with all of our guys fit and ready for Coventry on Friday when it actually matters. You know what I mean? Because we can look at the transfer window in I usually look at it in threefold. We look at it like depth, additions, and replacements. And now I think we've only signed one of each. I think Bruno G is the only addition to our starting lineup. What's his name? Solis is a replacement for Trossard, and Meslier is for depth, if you even call it that. I don't rate him. I don't even know why I did that. I mean, I think we should have gotten rid of Kepa before we even looked for no goalkeeper. But that's again, I'm putting that all on Bertha. Big up to Bertha for what he's done.
Whoa,
You know,
whoa, whoa, are we questioning Berta right now? BBK. Wait.
Yeah.
This is some. I need to hear it. Are we? Can we start questioning Berta right now, BBK?
Yeah, we can question him, but I will give him some grace in the sense that I think Edu left him with a pile of shit, right? Like Gabriel Jesus's contract, I don't put any of that down. If he can move him, I think it's a massive flex on Bertha's part because it's a very economically unattractive contract. Him and Havertz. Like Gianni speak all the time about how many clubs in world football can really pay Havertz's fee and pay his wages. Not many. And those teams that can do it have players that are better than Havertz in that position. So as far as moving Jesus and moving Havertz, I can't put any of that down to Bertha. I can look at him sideways with the Madueke one. With the Solis thing, 90K a week for a left winger in this market is kind of standard. I'm glad we didn't triple it and put him on, Zinchenko wages. Another Edu fuck up, putting a left back, a third, fourth choice left back on 150K. Hence, we ended up having to rip up his contract. But yeah, man, the preseason, it is what it is. I hope guys get fit. I hope guys get sharp, but I'm not overly worried yet. I want to see if Arteta has learned from his mistakes. I want to see if he is going to move about now because I think he's the only Premier League manager with a Premier League medal, right? So you have some experience of getting over the line. I expect him to move different, but I won't even get on him until the season starts because against Coventry, lo and behold, he could pick the right lineup and we blam them man 3-0 and all is forgotten of what happened in the preseason.
No, 100%. Like, for example, BBK, yeah, BX is saying in the chat, Berta needs at least 2 years to clean up the disaster he was left with. See, the thing is he really cleaning up? That's the question. Who are we selling? I'm not saying Berta out or not. I'm starting to ask these questions, BBK. How are we selling? Who are we selling? Even in the players that are sellable, we're still selling them under. Do you know what I'm saying? Under the price. Yeah. Why are we the only teams? How come Garnacho can go for 45? How?
Because Arsenal as an institution haven't been respected at board level for time. For a long time, and Berta is trying to reverse that, but yet Bia's gonna be right. It might take him 2 years because right now, if we wanted to sell players for big money, like if he wants to sell Skelly, he can get big money for Skelly, but we're not gonna go sell Skelly just to prove that we can sell because then we weaken our team. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But the players that we really need to get off our books, Havertz and Jesus are the main ones, and I think Berta, it's a shit sandwich. It's gonna taste nasty. And regardless of who buys them, we're going to take a loss on the transfer fee, but it's be good to get those wages of our books. But we can't have £1 million a month and a number 9 shirt being swallowed up by Jesus. We can do better there as Premier League champions.
100%, man, 100%. Big up, Doc. Big up, Doctor. Just kicked out my patient on the surgical table mid-procedure. Cancelled all remaining patient appointments today. Big up. I'm guessing. Big up, man. Big up, bro. Big up. That we're saying I don't mind the rest of the team, but why Kepa? Why? That's a question we will get to. Gianni in the house, first of all, people. Do you know what I'm saying? Ciao, my friend. Hope you're well. There is a question for you here. Let me just pull it up because I think Sean asked you this question. What is your opinion of Northern Coffee? Did we make a mistake in selling him, given our right back situation? I heard Milan, Napoli are interested in him. Do you know anything about this question? And what's your thoughts on that game, bro? Did you watch the game, Gianni?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I watched. It was a shit show. But at the same time, well, first with Sean's question, the kids look good for 2 years, but it's Genoa, so I'm not too keen on it. I'd have to see him go to a bigger team. If he's getting looked at by Milan and Napoli, he's going to be a bench player, so we'll see what he could potentially develop into. He hasn't really been all that at his 2 years at Genoa, but he's an okay player at best, so I wouldn't say right now that we made a mistake in selling him with our right back situation just yet, so I won't say that. As far as the game, look, the problem is we got guys playing in positions that don't work. Skelly's not a 6. Havertz is a lost cause in the midfield. He should have never played midfield again. And to echo what BBK said, in my opinion, he should never be wearing an Arsenal jersey again. He should be one of the first ones gone. I think one of the issues with what you were asking about with asking is Berta on Fraud Watch? No. Who's telling him certain things? Because anybody who owns a business will, if there's something that is just soaking up money that you could get rid of that's not working, you'll bite the bullet and get rid of it. Like this whole thing with, you brought it up earlier with Gabby Jesus to Napoli. It's not happening unless Napoli moves 4 players. It's not just Lukaku. Fabrizio Romano is not telling the truth, and everybody else about that whole scenario is not telling the truth of what's going on. Napoli is financial problems. They got to move on 4 players before they can even look at Jesus. And the other part of the problem is Jesus doesn't want to give up that contract. That's the other part of the problem. He's getting £1 million a month. If you translate it to euros, I think right now with what the going rate is on the market, he would go up from barely over £1 million to nearly 1.2 million euros a month if he got the same salary. He's not going to give that up. Plus, it's his last year of getting that. Nobody's giving him that. You know, when you look at what we're doing, why are you asking 20 million for Gabby Jesus? What team in this market is going to take a banged up striker who's openly said he's not good at scoring goals? And when you look at how much he's getting paid on a salary, you're technically out 33 million on your first year with him. If you're paying 20 million and then paying 13 million a season for a salary based on what we're at, nobody's doing that. That's the problem. So you have to take a loss and just get rid of it and look at it long term for the greater good. I don't care if Garnacho got sold for 40 million. Put Havertz on the market for 25. Get rid of him. What are we doing?
But how are they getting 45 million, Gianni? This is the question.
No, because they're not on high wages, so they can demand more money. If Alejandro Garnacho was on 150,000 a week, like we did with Madueke, you think somebody would have bought his bum ass for 40 million? Hell no, they'd have laughed you out the door. The problem is that guys come to Arsenal and we triple, quadruple, even 10 times people's wages when they come here. It goes back to what Nat and both what Jez said. A lot of the times what it comes off is we're increasing these salaries to deal with Arteta. And that's how we have to attract these players to even come over here. But in the long term, it kills you. Look at how much money we've lost. If you just look at Zinchenko, Aubameyang, and Nicolas Pepe, it's 170 million down the drain. You got 1.5 million euros back for Zinchenko. You took over 170 million loss. Nobody can run a business like that. I don't care how good of a business person you are. You can't run a business person like that. So you have to straighten everything out. That's why it's going to take two to three transfers.
I asked Gianni. I asked Shane this question, and I want to ask the question to you guys as well. To you as well. Garnacho or Martinelli?
Martinelli.
I don't want Garnacho anywhere near London Cold.
No. We're not saying get Garnacho. I'm just saying the level because we need.
Yeah.
Do you get it? Yeah. No.
Yeah.
We're looking
Still
for
Martinelli all day.
Martinelli
all day. Martinelli all day. Not even.
Fair enough. Then we should be able to get a few bucks on it. The thing is that this is the thing, Gianni. We're ending up selling Lewis Skelly instead. To get the money, to fund the money, we need to sell Lewis Skelly. So it's either him or Ethan. I'm guessing they're just testing
what did
the
I
waters.
tell you? What you and me had a conversation. I don't remember what stream it was on. It was either on your channel or maybe Lee's channel or somebody else's channel. I said, the way Arsenal are moving reminds me a lot of Juventus. That Juventus was making stupid decisions that ultimately has led to the demise of that club when you look at what they're dealing with now. We're doing the same thing. Why are we overpaying for players and then turning around, having to accept losses? So now we're going to sell our youth product because of this maximum profit thing in order to just keep papering over the cracks. There needs to be a coming to Jesus moment where it's okay, let's stop buying these crazy amounts of players for crazy money. It doesn't work out in the long run, and we haven't struck the way we've needed to. Plus, to what you asked earlier, we're in the same market as all these other clubs. Why can't we go look outside the box at players that have played well? But just because Chelsea, Real Madrid, and these clubs aren't particularly in at them. Why can't we look at them for better? Again, the guy at Villarreal, Malero. Malero's a better winger than all these wingers that have hit the market. You could get him for relatively cheaper, but because Real Madrid and Fabrizio Romano hasn't broke the news that the big clubs have talked about, and
Yeah, but
you
Gianni,
got to look at these other clubs for stupid money. That's not how you do this.
that requires a bit of talent
Scouting.
ID, which this
Yeah.
manager doesn't have in it, and the whole they don't have talent ID. So I think us and a lot of Arsenal fans, we want a baller, even with the Arteta attacks. Shout out to BBK for that. You know, no copyright, John. I just think I get copyright. You get the Arteta attacks. So that's the thing. We're ending up. We can't go for these players. We went for Vinny. We tried the Vinny thing, didn't work out. I don't know if we tried it anyway. I'm looking at it sideways.
I don't think we tried Vinny. Bro.
Did we try it?
That was just. I don't think we tried that. I think Vinny. Vinny
we were never gonna go
was just a hype artist to hype the team up and everything else. We weren't in for him, bro. If
exactly.
we could have got a lawsuit for that. You can't talk. You're not allowed to talk to a player unless the club that owns him gives you permission to talk to. So this whole talk about we've agreed to personal terms, bullshit. Same reason why Rock Nation put that article out saying that they haven't talked to him because they're protecting themselves from a potential lawsuit. It's not true, bro. It's not how business works with this. If you own Arsenal and I want to buy Jez from you and I want to bring Jez to Napoli, I got to first get the clearance. Hey, is Jez even on the market? You say no. Okay, I can't talk to Jez because now you have the right to be able to sue me for it.
Tampering.
By putting out false information. It don't work like that.
Exactly. And it's the same thing with the Rodgers situation as well. We had all of these idiots, on Twitter telling us that, he wants to come to Arsenal. He's spoken to us. I mean, for heaven's sake, the boy was at the World Cup with England, just training hard and trying to be focused on doing well for his country. This is another reason why I could never really get behind, all of this transfer stuff which would take place during a major tournament. Because all it does is really unsettle, the players. And the players don't need that. The national teams don't need that. And that's another reason why I was sick of all of that. And thankfully, and I say this, with regret, because yes, he's a quality player. He would have improved our team. Or maybe not, because Arteta would have run him to the ground. But I'm glad he's, escaped us and gone to work with Alonso. And Aston Villa deserved a greater cash windfall than what we were able to offer him. And so with regards to the Vinny Jr. issue, if we weren't willing to pay a minimum of 20 million to get Rodgers, what in the hell made us think that we were willing to fork out that much money, breaking the wage structure, and spending even more than what we did for any single player? I mean, again, I know that Gianni did say on the Waffle Don stream, shout out to Waffle Don, of course, that a lot of people did get gassed up, but I was one of those people who said no, that's not going to happen. It would mean completely breaking the wage structure. And Gianni, I have to, big up to him and big up to Jez. Good evening to you, sir. Both of you seem to have your finger on the pulses of what really goes on with regard to the finances here. But anyone who knows, business ABC will know that that sort of a purchase would throw everything completely out of the water again. You spend that much more money to bring him to a club like us, who we don't even have a proper manager. And that term, Arteta tax, I think we're going to have to use that for each and every one of these streams. And Gianni, it was on your stream, you said, one of your streams, where you said that we're making the same mistakes that Juventus are making. I actually think that it probably wouldn't be a bad idea if we did start to, have a bit of a clear out, getting rid of some of the high-earning underachievers, and do what Aston Villa have done and drastically reduce their wage bill. Yeah. They've reduced it from, once upon a time, they had a revenue to wage turnover, or vice versa, of about 96%, which meant that, they had a little bit of trouble. But now, by selling a lot of these high earners and by sort of changing the structure, they've managed to put, work to, go against their bills. They've still been slightly fined by UEFA, but it's a slap on the wrist, and they won't have to pay any more fines if they do more work to get the wage system under control. And the way they're doing everything, they're being so much more proactive in buying and selling and buying players, selling to buy, I might add, that, they're making us look like a laughing stock. So what right do we have to thumb our noses at them? And now we're still talking about possibly trying to get Ezri Konsa to come and join us for about £35 million.
Arsenal said they're expensive. Arsenal said
Yeah.
that he's too expensive. 60 million was too much. That's what I heard.
And that's
see
the
that- but
thing.
see,
That's
there
the
you
thing.
go.
Yeah.
But that's hold on real quick, Manny. But there you go. If 60, I agree that 60 million is too much for Konsa either way. But if you got all this cash to where you could start throwing it around and talking about you're getting these different players, well, put up or shut up. Either put up the cash
Absolutely.
or just shut up.
Yeah.
That's
Or as
that's
you-
where the
But
issue
some
is.
would say
Or as,
Just
or
to
as you
play
would
the
say on
devil's
your side of
advocate
the
here.
Atlantic, relieve yourself or get off the commode.
Well, but plus with the books, to like what Manny said too, with the wage structure. Let's all remember something here. David Raya is on £100,000 a week. He's going to be coming up on an extension. David Raya deserves what Kai Havertz is getting. If you're going to give somebody that much money, David
He
Raya
deserves
deserves
an
that.
increase, I agree.
Jurrien Timber, we're going to have to make a decision on if we're going to keep him because he's on £90,000. Timber, when healthy, the only right back, in my opinion, that's better than him is Hakimi. But again, we don't even know what his health situation is going to be. But you have another person that's going to be asking for more money. Again, if you look at our wage structure, we have, I think it's 8 guys now with Guimaraes is on £200,000 a week or more. Out of the full 27 guys that are on the roster, 16 of them are on £100,000. We're on 100. We're at 100, and we're just under 200 million now for base salary. If we win the league, all and the bonuses are hit, we're nearly 240 million pounds. You can't operate that way with having this crazy amount of money that's on the bench that's not getting used. Just Havertz and Jesus alone by themselves are $1 million, so they're $2 million a month combined. You can't use that for a business if you're going to run it properly. That's why you got to straighten the books out.
Absolutely. Well
Do you
said.
think there will come time, Manny, where we're gonna have to? When are we gonna start balancing those books, Manny? Do you know what I'm saying? We spent a lot of money. Some would say to the thing where you said about Vinny and we threw 100 on Morgan Rogers and then we backed out. Some would say maybe we didn't rate him for 120 million. Do you know what I'm saying? But we rated Vinny that amount of money.
Exactly.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I do completely. And even with Vinny, I would say, yes, he's a great talent, but he's also a global name. Morgan Rogers may be a little bit inconsistent, but that bloke has a high ceiling. And I watched Aston Villa extensively last season, and I will be doing a watch-along for tonight's Super Cup match between Villa and Paris Saint-Germain from the Red Bull Arena in Salzburg. Rogers won't be playing, and of course, neither will Konsa and Ollie Watkins and Emi Martinez. The World Cuppers have been given a month off. But I saw them, play in the Premiership. I saw them play in the Europa League. And Rogers, yes, you could say that he was a little bit inconsistent at times. He drifted in and out of the game. But when he was locked in, when he was focused, oh boy, he literally, lit everything up. The goals he scored, the way he was playing, the way he was linking up with Emi Buendia.
Sorry, one
and
second.
yes, I'm going to talk about. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
sorry for digressing.
Jez is gonna
I'm sorry
leave.
for digressing. Sorry.
Jez is gonna leave. Apologies. Jez, thank you for being here.
No worries, man.
And what do you think of this game, Shez? Last words. You've seen the lineup.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the lineup, to be honest. Why we keep pushing Kepa, I do not know. Not good enough to the club, man. But this is Arteta. Maybe he's got a plan. I don't know. But weird. But it'll be interesting. I'll be watching it on Arsenal YouTube. And yeah, I don't know this man. I really don't. He confuses me. He really does. But hey, we'll find out, won't we? And we'll find out on 3 o'clock on Sunday when we play Man City in Cardiff, which I find absolutely bloody bizarre. As I said to Kenny Ken last night, right? The Community Shield is pretty much the same weekend every bloody year, and they've booked 3 concerts. So that means all the Arsenal Man City fans have got extra costs to go down to Cardiff. And from what I understand, it's going to be a pretty shit crowd because Arsenal apparently have handed back 5,000 tickets. And pretty much the same for Man City. I don't understand the FA at all nowadays. It's the Community Shield. It's the game before it's always the game before the start of the season. And yet you book 3 concerts of a band I've never fucking heard of. So, there you go. You know what I mean? It's just, I think they're called Weekend or something. I mean, I've never heard of them.
Oh, the weekend. Yeah, I know them. Yeah, the weekend. I think.
Not,
Yeah,
not well, obviously not my cup of tea.
The Canadian guy.
Yeah.
yeah. I think it's them.
I don't know.
Oh wow.
But it just seems bizarre to me. You know, when the
Oh,
Charity Shield is every fucking weekend, every year, and yet you book 3 concerts. Why? Big money. Big money. And yet you make the extra cost for all the Arsenal and Man City fans to have to travel down to Cardiff. Nice one. Well done, the FA. Again, you're taking the piss out of all the supporters. You're a joke, shambolic piss takers, and yeah, there you go. Anyway, gentlemen, been a great show. I'm out. I'm going to go watch. I'm going to
Good
go
night,
and
sir.
Salute.
God bless.
Big
video
up, Jez.
clips.
Take care. Take care. Big up,
Take
Jez.
care.
Manny, sorry.
Yeah.
We're sorry.
No, it's all
He was
good.
on the
And
roll.
I remember the question you were asking about balancing the books. I was just waxing lyrical about Morgan Rogers, and I'm saying that, you know, for Arsenal to go ahead and say, well, he wasn't worth the money, and we didn't want to pay that extra for him anyway. I'm sorry, but, you know, he is worth the money. Inconsistent, but with a high ceiling, and he will only get better. And again, there's an issue of trying to throw more money, but I think Gianni pretty much got it spot on when he said that the wages are going to be an issue, and that is pretty much why we seem to attract a larger number of players who seem willing to come over here. The number of ex-Chelsea players we've signed over the years who've won a lot of things at Stamford Bridge, and then they come over to Arsenal. I think I'm reminded of when Petr Cech said that, you know, joining Arsenal was very much like joining a family club in a way, and it was a great way to wind down his career. You know, that said it all, really. He won everything there was to win at Chelsea. Maybe he could have won a Europa League final if his teammates hadn't have thrown him and Unai Emery under the bus. But again, it's like when these Chelsea players come over to Arsenal, it's like it is a bit of a step down in a way, because we have a poor European legacy compared to Chelsea, and Chelsea have managed to find a way to win so many more trophies more recently than us. But they know that they can earn some pretty big money at a certain stage in their careers. Madueke is an exception because he is still quite young, but this issue of trying to throw money in terms of, you know, some signing fees and also the wages, we do seem to be throwing away quite a bit of money. And there will come a time, I keep saying that one thing which a lot of people seem to overlook is that because of our prime location as well, we will also have to pay a huge tax bill to His Majesty's Revenue and Customs. And that will take up quite a little bit of the, the money that we may have. And of course, as we all know, whatever revenue we earn from winning trophies, it doesn't necessarily go towards, signing players, because we have to pay up the debts from previous seasons. One of these days, we are going to have to change the wage structure. I remember reading somewhere that had Spurs gone down last season, and they were primed to go down, and I wouldn't have necessarily celebrated, but I wouldn't have minded seeing them go down. Had they gone down, they would.
I would have celebrated.
But had they gone, had they gone down, mind you, they would have had to slash their entire wage bill by 50%, which would have meant that some of the bigger earners would definitely have had to take a big cut in their salary. And if they weren't willing to, stand for that, or even stand for playing in the championship, that would have presented a perfect opportunity for a fire sale. Sadly, Aston Villa threw that game at Villa Park because they wanted to prepare for the second leg of the Europa League semi-final, and you have to say it worked. And then by hook or by crook, the Spurs ended up surviving. And, that kind of slightly soured the celebration or maybe it didn't, because, again, we get to thrash them home and away again this season. But again, if we sort of suffer a bit of a nosedive in form, and none of us want that, believe you me, I certainly don't want that. But that's what happened with Leicester City after they won the Premiership. The following season, they still had to sell quite a few of their star players, including N'Golo Kante, who we should have signed for Arsenal instead of that Swiss cheese, Granit Xhaka. They ended up having such a huge nosedive in form in the Premiership that Ranieri got sacked and he had to leave. And then Craig Shakespeare steered the ship and guided them to safety. He also very nearly took them to the Champions League semi-finals, and that would have been a great story. And since then, of course, they had a little bit of a mini recovery with Brendan Rodgers winning the FA Cup. But since then, the thing about Leicester, and I think Gianni will agree with me on this, we might have spoken about it, or maybe, Kenny Ken and I did, is that they didn't quite have a backup plan, because they probably didn't foresee such a decline, and they also didn't really have the ability to plan for the future. And when you have a situation as well where players seem to be only too happy to, run down their contract because of the wages on which they're getting paid, then you have a little bit of a problem. It's as if, as Gianni was saying and a few others were saying, we just don't have any sense of fiscal intelligence or responsibility. And the only reason why we're being saved is because, for what it's worth, we are still doing reasonably quite well in the league champions, and also doing quite well in Europe. But if we have a nosedive in form and end up, suffering a great deal, one huge crisis could actually force us to go through a fire sale. I actually think that if we fail to win the league this season, we might have a situation where, the board will have to start being ruthless and tell some of these high earners, I'm sorry, but there is no room for you. We are going to have to sell you. And even if it means taking a heavy loss on you, so be it. I get what people are saying when they say that if we sell the likes of Mars Lewis Skelly and Ethan Nwaneri, we get in pure profit. But Gianni got it spot on. All that's going to do is paper over the cracks. And we can all agree that the youth of our club is literally our lifeblood. Why should we have to force ourselves to get rid of some of our talented youngsters just to bring in more money? We gain so much more money, but we lose our soul. And it's at the risk of going biblical, and I'm sorry, Rashid, I know that you're a devout Muslim.
But
It's like what they say.
we won the league, man. We won the league, man. This is what I don't understand.
I know we won the league. But again, what's the guarantee that we're going to win the league this season as well, the way we're going? We have this discussion.
As in, why are the players this price if we won the league, Manny? Everybody talks about, this player's a baller because he won something in Italy or wherever. Or, do you know what I'm saying? It's like this Arsenal team won the league. Why are these players' prices decreasing? How can that happen?
There are so many reasons why. Yeah, the salaries.
Who else are you going to? It's the same problem with Chelsea. This whole business model that Chelsea's doing that people are trying to talk about. Here's the only reason why Chelsea's has worked out is because they got these kids on cheap wages so they can make up their extra end of money when they sell them for profit on the transfer market. Who Martinelli's on 10 million a year. Who's buying Martinelli for 50 million, knowing that you got to pay him a 10 million instantly, so it's 60 million out the door? Who's doing that? Who's buying? Who in God's name?
How much do you think Martinelli's worth?
At best, 40 million.
Exactly, 35 or 40. And Galatasaray were willing to offer Arsenal the money. But again, as you've mentioned, it's also going to depend on whether certain players are going to be willing to take a salary cut in order to join another club so that they can get some regular football.
Look at Calafiori. Calafiori was on 12,000 euros a week. We kicked him up to 130,000 pounds when we got him.
So that's literally you're literally increasing his salary by about 11 or 12-fold, aren't you, Jim?
Exact. That's my point. The mismanagement of the wages is the problem. The mismanagement of the wages is also the reason why we can't just go out and start throwing money at players we should be throwing money at.
Exactly.
If we had enough money to go get Vinny, why can't we go to PSG and buy Vara? If that's real.
Exactly. That is exactly the point I mentioned earlier. Exactly the point. And this has been going on for years.
Agreed, but it's probably because Enrique doesn't want to sell Kvaratskhelia. Enrique will
whether
decide
you want
which
to sell,
players
whether
he
you
wants
want
to
to sell
go.
anybody, whether the other team wants to sell anybody or not is irrelevant. It's calling bullshit. That's what it is at the end of the day. If you got enough money for one guy and there's another guy that's at the same level, then you have enough money to go get for him. So why can't we entice it? A lot of these players, when they look, some of these players act like, oh, I don't want to leave. Then they see that the team's serious. Oh, the light bulb goes off in their head, and now they want to look at it. At the end of the day, the thing with Arsenal is this. If we're looking at it from a perspective of going back to win the league, we should be winning the league with where we're at. With all this money spent and everything else, we should be winning the league with what we've done so far. The question is going to be the same thing as it was last year. Is Arsenal going to get in their own way again? Is the manager not going to rotate? Declan Rice cannot play 5,000 fucking minutes again. Cannot happen. William Saliba is on a back injury. Both me and Taryn are big basketball fans. We've seen the best of the best basketball players' career get cut short in a year because they rushed themselves back from back injuries.
Right.
Saliba, the problem is, unfortunately, Saliba may have to sit out the whole season. Because when you start looking at the surgery of what Saliba potentially needs, you're talking about freaking spinal fusion and all this shit, and that is never guaranteed to work. So Saliba, you got to walk into the season potentially looking at him gone for the year. Rotation is key. I do not want to see Declan Rice play 5,000 minutes. I don't want to see Saka playing if he looks hurt. We have a big enough squad to do rotation. If we can stay out of our own way and rotate, we should be winning the league even with these problems. Because the rest of these teams have not convinced me yet that they're better than us. Chelsea, I'm not a believer. I'm sorry, I'm not a believer just yet in Xabi Alonso with this team. He's not going to magically kick Cole Palmer out of the year-and-a-half slump that he's been in. I just don't see it. Their defense sucks. City, we don't know what we're going to get from City. Liverpool, good luck. I don't see Liverpool doing that much unless they get a couple signings in before the season starts. It's on us to repeat this year. The problem is we still have Arteta at the helm. Whether he won the league or not, whether everyone's going to be like, oh, well, he won us the league and all this. I don't care. If he's going to run the team into the ground, we're not going to win this year. And that would be the reason why we don't win.
Yeah, and that segues into what I'm saying, Rashid, and I will conclude my point. If we have a situation where we do end up trophyless and not doing well enough, and if, heaven forbid, we end up not qualifying for Europe next season, not even for the Conference League, because bear in mind, for 2 consecutive seasons, we were 8th under Arteta, and we didn't even make the Conference League that time. I don't even know if the Conference League was a thing.
It started the year after. It started the year after the second.
Yeah. So, if there's a situation where we fail to qualify for Europe, and of course, as Gianni mentioned, we may not even get the coefficient this year, then some changes are going to have to be made, and we are going to have to get rid of some of the high earners to at least, get their wages off the books. Even if it means taking a loss on them for the long term, that would be fine. And so, any success we made, the success we earned last season was really in spite of Arteta and in spite of our mismanagement, not because of it. It was the players who basically earned it. They literally put themselves through the ringer physically and mentally to get over the line. And we also have to be honest and say that, as much as we are bottlers, City out-bottled us. They completely crapped the bed in the last few games of the season and let us go for it. And they weren't even supposed to be neck and neck with us when it came to that match at the Etihad. So this season is going to be key. It's going to be a bit of a watershed, and it will determine, what happens to us certainly in our future. Because financially, whoever's doing the numbers, whoever's, doing things right now, it's absolutely stupid. And although Aston Villa had their problems, they're working so hard to, rectify those mistakes, and they're now in pretty decent health. And I think they're going to get better. So we have to take a leaf from their book and say, you know what, we can't let this continue. And we have no right to continue thumbing our noses at them. There could come a time when they might even overtake us. Don't want that to happen,
100%, man. 100%. Big up to everyone that's locked in. Big up, man. Big up. It's been an elite show, bro. Kaylin's saying we need to get rid of the players that clearly are not good enough. Quickly, Gyökeres, Madueke will be worth next to nothing in the few years if they stay. Get rid. I wanted Gyökeres, but he ain't it. See, Dark Side, you were speaking about Gyökeres. I'm not saying that you want to sell him, but what are we going to do? We need another striker. What is the situation? Or do we keep these two and just go for the next season, defend our way through 38 games? What's your thoughts, man?
We're in big trouble. It just feels like we're just repeating a lot of the old mistakes of keeping these players on high wages that are just mediocre. I've said it a million times. Whoopi Goldberg, dark skin Bando K, Black Martinelli. I'm swear to God, I'm sick to death, bro. I'm sick to death of these just mediocre.
Did you like Solis?
Well, I think so. I like Solis. I think he looks okay. I think he looks really solid. Obviously, I need to see him in Premier League action. I need to see him playing for Arsenal week in, week out. But I think so far what I've seen from him, he looks like a like-for-like replacement with Trossard, man. I can't lie. He looks tidy. He looks neat, and you never know. We might have got lucky and unearthed a little gem. He might just be a decent player, or he might be.
He looks like a 7 out of 10 every game kind of guy. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm talking about. He looks like the player there when he comes off the bench. That something might happen, and you're going to get a solid performance. Or if he starts, he can do a good job.
But do you get it? 7 every game. See, he'll never give you that 9, that 9.5, those crazy games. Yeah. It's not him. Do you think?
Is he an upgrade on Trossard, Dark Side?
Say that again.
Is he an upgrade on Trossard?
It's too early to say. We don't have enough. In my opinion, there's not enough. There's not enough, because even when we signed Trossard, I wasn't really too thrilled about it, but I think Trossard was a fantastic servant for the club. But yeah, I think it's too early to say. But so far, I think he looks good. I like Solis. He's had a goal or assist in every single game, including the preseason
Yeah.
behind closed doors against Watford. So-
Maybe he can be the GA guy, Doc. Do you know what I'm saying?
Maybe-
Maybe you know how like wingers, you've got two choices, either the baller or a GA.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying?
if he's a PA guy, I'll be happy with that. You know, if he ends up with like
Yeah.
say 11, 12 goals and like 10 assists or
We
something,
need him.
or 8 assists,
We need him.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
The reason I asked is because I think if Arteta sees him as an upgrade on Trossard, then I think that's it for our left wing.
I mean, that's dark, man. That's dark, man.
But if he sees him as a replacement or a lesser, then we might still be in the market for
I mean,
a Bobby Perez level type left wing.
I see him as a Trossard replacement, but I think we need to. I think we need a Martinelli replacement because I want Martinelli I want him in the Bin Laden, mate. He needs to get out.
And
BBK,
La
do you-
Basura, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying?
but BBK, do you think? Sorry, Doc. BBK, do you think we're not gonna get a left winger, and this guy's gonna be our left winger next season? Hard worker, can get a bit of GA. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know yet. Obviously, I'm like Doc, but hard worker. That's what I can say. Hard work.
Mhm. Now he seems
Is that
tidy.
something
Like,
Arteta rates?
he seems tidy, like Darkside said, and he's pretty. I think he's been the story of our preseason. If you're looking for a narrative to run, preseason he's the one that's been a shining light, I guess. But I'm saying if Arteta sees him as a Trossard upgrade, then yeah, I don't because we look at Martinelli for what he does going forward, and we're like getting upset about it. Arteta sees him for what he does going the other way. That's why he's still here.
Yeah.
That's why he's on that money. He's the best defensive winger in the league. That's what Arteta rates him for. But we
You know
want
what? For me, that sentence is an oxymoron. Like, what do you mean you're the best defensive winger? That don't even
That's
make
what I'm
sense. to me.
saying. That's part of
like
the
saying-
Arteta tax.
That's like
part
saying
of the
Ryan's the
Arteta
best
tax.
attacking goalkeeper. That don't even
We
make
look
sense.
at the winger for what he's supposed to do. We're looking at a winger for.
But he
a winger
did
to
say
do
that,
what he
Doc. He did say that.
But when you're leading with, because when we talk about Odegaard, right? What do the top gooners lead with? The
He
press.
leads the press. He leads the press.
Right.
That's
The
what
press
he
is a
always says.
defensive action.
Yeah.
It's a defensive action, and you're meant to
Yeah.
be an attacking player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we
Right.
see Martinelli for what we want him to be. Arteta sees him for something completely different. So I don't think
Yeah.
he goes anywhere. So if he sees Solis as an upgrade on Trossard, then I think that's it for our left wing. Unless we're going to do the whole Rashford deadline day, which is another meltdown coming.
Yeah. But to Rashid, yeah, to answer your question, with the Gyökeres and the Madueke thing, for me, I said it. I don't care if we bought Madueke last year. I would be selling him. I'd be selling him. Even if we sell him for 25 million, get rid, mate. Get rid. And Gyökeres, listen, I was doing all this. I was doing the Gyökeres thing, but I saw that Dortmund game. I know it's one game. I shouldn't be reactionary, but if
He
we're not
looks
going to play,
terrible. He looked
It was-
terrible. He looked terrible.
oh,
yeah.
bro, he looked awful. But if we're not going to play to his strengths, and if we're not going to do things to facilitate him, then just send him to Atletico Madrid and go get Alvarez, man, and just call it a buck. Just go get Alvarez, go get Njai, and let's call it a bang. Because I don't want to be in a situation where these players are winding down their contracts and they want all this money, and we're getting like 10, 15 million and sending them to like Trabzonspor and shit like that. I don't want to be doing that because, again, in big 26-27, why is Anelka on my top 15 sold Arsenal sold players list? Now, if we had sold Garnacho for 45 million, he'd be our biggest transfer sale. That's pathetic, man. That's pathetic. Lesbian Michael Jackson, blood. Piss off. Man.
Garnachers, bro.
Looking like my flipping
Nah,
art teacher.
nah.
Come on out here, man. Get out of here.
Skeletal,
Man.
bro.
Looking
Skeletal,
like
bro.
he teaches African American studies, blood. Piss off, blood.
Mad, bro. No, but that's how it is, bro. Unfortunately, here we are. You know, talking about another season with these players. I'm worried. I can't lie, especially the attacking players, bro. See, today we've got Kepa, and then we've got Julian, Salmon, Cool, whatever, Gabriel. You know what I'm saying? Hincapié, Lewis Skelly in the 6 again. We know that Lewis Skelly don't work in the 6. He's a centre mid. He needs someone to help him. I'll be honest. A lot of teams are opening us up. That's why the goals are come. That's why they're scoring goals as well. They're opening us up because you can't play with a number 6. Lewis Skelly can't play by himself. I love Lewis Skelly, bro. He's a great player, and I believe that he could reach places, but he can't play the number 6 by himself. I think Kante is the last person I've seen play number 6 by himself. I don't think he can. Maybe Declan Rice can do, but the problem is with Declan Rice is when we build up. You get me, dog? Tell him. Nah, tell him. It's when we build up with Declan Rice. See, I'm not worried when we defend. We're gonna get the ball back. That's minor.
I
But
think Rodri can play 6 on his own. Just to put it out there, I think Rodri can play 6 on his own.
Yeah.
Even today. I mean, in the Premier League, he would struggle because of the pace of it, and obviously he's had his injuries and slowing down. But in terms of like technical wise, like it's basically Rodri, Kante before that. There's a few other players, and that's about
Makelele.
it. Yeah, Makelele, Patrick Vieira. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like the list goes on.
Yeah, Patrick can do that. Yeah,
Like,
but he had help, to be honest.
Remember, what's his face? Mahamadou Diarra, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he went Real Madrid.
Yeah, and then he was at Lyon before that. Even Emerson. People sleep on Emerson, bruv. Emerson was top tier.
Underrated.
DM.
Underrated.
Yeah, as a DM, bruv. Yeah, Emerson was class, bruv. Emerson was class. Like, elite. I rate him either way, but for me,
I think there was a lot of players that underrated them times, Nats. Sorry.
In this era, in this era, there's so many players that would you would see as bang average before or even good, but you put them in today's climate, today's current market, they'd be the best on the planet. Morton Gammis Pedersen, do you remember him from Blackburn, innit? Yeah. If we had him on the left wing, bruv, he'd be the best, one of the best on the planet, bruv. One of the best on the planet. I would take him now, bruv. Ahead of fucking what is it? The Belize Martinelli, bruv. I'd take him ahead of fucking the brave little toaster as well. Either side, 2-footed, all of that shit. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of players I'd like Morton Gammis Pedersen I would take over them. There's a lot of players that I like. He's better than
Kevin Phillips, bro, up front.
Kevin Phillips, 100%.
Bro,
Jamie Beattie, bruv. James Beattie, bruv. You remember James Beattie from fucking Southampton?
Bro, I'll take the yak. I would take the yak right now, bro. I'll take the yak.
The yak strolls in, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? What's his face? Andrew Johnson. Palace, Fulham. I think he was at Everton for a little bit as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know?
Hey, I'll tell you what. You know what? Will Todd, bro.
Easily. Look, we can build not just a first 11. We can build a squad of players that get in ahead of basically all of our players, bro. Even the ones that we rate. Even Gyökeres, I like Gyökeres, but technically he's never been it. Never been it. Yeah. And who have we had in the past? What fucking Shamak, bro?
Would you say Haaland is better than him on the ball? Would you say Haaland is better than him on the ball?
Just. I think when it comes to on the ball, like there was talks maybe like once upon a time we would get Sorloth, innit? Because to be honest, as an out-and-out striker, in terms of if you want someone to hold up the ball, link up play, do the target man thing, I'd take a Sorloth all day long, bruv. All day long. Like, Haaland is Haaland. He does, and he has improved, to be fair. He has improved, like, his touch and all that. He still can't dribble, but, you know.
I think if you want a big guy up front and you can get a Mateta. Mateta is very underrated, bro. He can play football and he's
Mateta. He won't be at Palace for much longer, bruv. I'm amazed he's still at Palace, bruv.
Yeah, I am too, innit? Mad.
And Jai. Do you know what I'm saying? There's still a few good players. There's still a few good players in the Prem. We're not stacked as everyone else thinks because they're still jacking off with Garnachas and Kittens, whatever the fuck his name is. You know, even the Martinellis, the brave little toaster, Madueke, and all of that. They're still putting them to high heaven and all that. But I mentioned a player that most people won't even remember, don't even know, in Morton Gammis Pedersen. We obviously had fucking Hleb, bruv. Hleb's one of the best dribblers I've ever seen in my life, bro.
Hleb is underrated, bro. Underrated.
Hleb, bro.
Hey, the best two-footed player I've ever seen at this club, bro, is Kleb.
I tell you what, that's a shout, bro.
That's a shout.
Zola was embarrassing. Zola was a close second. Kleb was ridiculous with his left foot, bro.
Yeah, I rate Hleb though. Hleb Tech was criminally underrated.
Unbelievable, bruv. And he wasn't even the quickest. He was never that quick.
No, he wasn't.
But the first few
he didn't
yards,
need to be quick. It's like Mahrez. You don't need to be quick if you have that touch.
Exactly.
You're already 1 step ahead. Sorry, 1 second
100%.
ahead.
No problem. Like I miss these players, man. Do you know what I'm saying? I know we're not going to get that prime time Joga Benito days. I know them days are gone. However, I don't care what anyone says. I do not want to see Skeletor, Garnashers, aka Kittens. I don't want to see fucking the brave little toaster. I don't want them kind of players, you know, getting pushed out to the mainstream, like getting these big ass deals and contract. No. That has to stop, bruv. With this U-shaped football, running the ball out of play, can't control the ball, can't trap a bag of cement to save their fucking life, bruv. I'm Rashid, guys, I'm done with it, bruv. I'm done. Because if you put me on £5 a week, yeah, I'll control that football. With a gun to my head, I would do that shit. I would control that football.
Yeah, he's not.
Breaking news.
He's not in the squad anymore. He's not on the bench either.
People, let us know.
Yeah,
I beg, let us know.
Yeah,
Please.
just a journalist post up.
Please.
I don't know if he's credible or not, but yeah.
No, I'm just looking at Sky.
Because it's
Sports.
worrying.
Oh wait, no,
That's the
sorry,
case.
it's loaded now. He's come back all of a sudden. What the hell?
Oh, man. Oh,
Yeah,
got my
sorry
hopes
about
up.
that, sorry about
Got my
No,
hopes
Good,
up.
good.
because look, you can see, look,
Bro,
he got replaced with some Theo kid, and then now it's weird. It's showing a different player, but like Skelly's saying that Skelly is.
Doc, you need to worry about Skelly, Ethan, and Max. We've got 3, I think, very, very talented players. Do you know what I'm saying? In their own way. What's crazy is that in their own way. But I believe there's certain games where you can play them in that midfield
I believe so as well.
by themselves, innit, though?
I don't think the first game of the season, I don't think Declan Rice should be touching pitch at all. I don't even think he should be on the bench. And I mean that as well. I'd just start Eze, Bruno Guimaraes, and Miles Lewis-Skelly. I would. Rice
Yeah, that's not bad, innit? That's not bad.
Yeah, Saka should be nowhere near that squad either. If Saka's even on the bench, nah.
Rice and Saka shouldn't play till after the first international break. When they get 20 days off and all that going into October, that's when you potentially bring them back. The first set of games, we should be fine without those guys. Even if you do get Chelsea, we should be fine. We should be fine without those guys. We need to look at longevity here. If we get rush guys back, you can't tell me if Rice misses 3-4 months, same time period, they're trying to loosely say Saliba's going to be out, that we're winning the league again if he misses that amount of time. Guys got to get rest.
This manager's getting desperate though, Gianni. Do you know what I'm saying? You see him all pre-season. Like, he was looking mad stressed last season. But when have you guys ever seen Arteta stressed, this stressed, during a pre-season? We just won the league, bruv. We just won the league, and this manager's looking bare stressed, bruv. I tell you what, yeah, there's a reason why they haven't announced that contract renewal. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to get my hopes up, but I'm just saying there is a reason why they haven't announced it yet. There is a reason.
Wait. You think that?
That's this is the flipping Mikel Arteta contract derby tonight, bro. Because if Fabregas wins, we might be seeing.
Hey, look, if we get slapped 4 or 5-0, yeah. I tell you what, mate. I tell you what, like.
Hey, they can play ball.
Oh, 100%.
They can play ball now.
I wouldn't take Fabregas right now. I'm not gonna lie. That being said, over Arteta, I mean,
it's a coin flip for me.
How much you give him? How much? Like, let's say you do. What would you tell him? You have to win this season. You got 2 years. What would you tell him?
win a trophy.
Contract-wise.
Win a trophy. Win the League Cup and FA Cup. Yeah.
One of the
Win
big
trophies,
boys, one
bro.
of the big boys.
Two trophies mandatory this season and next season.
When you say two, a big one and a big one and medium.
Yeah,
that's what you mean.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah, I'll go with
Either the two small ones or one of the big boys for me.
No.
Something.
No.
Because if he wins the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup in one season and finishes in the top 4, I'll take that.
No, not right
Fair
now.
enough. Fair enough.
Arteta. We're talking about Arteta.
So, Arteta has to win league mandatory. Then it's whatever else.
For me, it's to win the Champions League, bro. If Arteta don't win the Champions League, for me, his ass has got to bounce, bro.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with Champions League. We don't have, especially for this season, we don't have enough time when we look at the potential injury to Saliba and other guys for us to be able to go ahead and say we should be winning. If you're telling me that come the end of the transfer window and that we're choosing between Solis, Dalman, and Martinelli for the left wing, we're not winning the Champions League. You can write the Champions League off right then and there. That's done. So now it's down to the 3 domestics. Mandatory league. I personally want the double this year. I want FA Cup and league this year. I don't think we're good enough to go on and win the Champions League still. Unless, had we signed Rodgers or Vinny, different story. Now I'm demanding Champions League. But what we got right now, not happening.
I'm still demanding it anyway, because if this manager's meant to be the greatest since sliced bread, right, with or without Vinny or more, I agree with you, Johnny, but at the same time, yeah, I'm holding him to the fucking fire.
I hear what you're saying, but
because
I'm
if he
looking
doesn't
at
get
that.
it, yeah, I'm putting him in the pot, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm putting him in the cauldron pot. What we used to do with these.
I'm with Nats. I'll be honest. I'm with Nats on this one, yeah. Nats.
Yeah.
We've seen. Sorry, my he's bugging. Nats, I agree with you 100%. We've seen Klopp come in, spend way less. In these years, he won a Champions League. And we had there or thereabouts the same kind of team. Like, he pulled them out of the mud too, innit?
Yeah,
so
100%, Rashid.
I think it should be mandatory.
Like, we have spent over £1 billion, bruv, past the 6-year point. We lost out on Morgan Rogers, we lost out on Vinny. You know, even if we do try and get Cavra and say 150 mil, what are you saying, PSG? We've left it. I think we've left it too late anyway. Even if Berta does the utmost, Andrea Berta, to speak to the Cronkies and be like, look, we're going to have to accept losses on Havertz, Jesus, Odegaard, maybe Madueke. For me, Madueke. If we don't get rid of Havertz and Jesus and we let their contracts run down, get rid of Madueke, bruv. If there's a number one priority sell, it's got to be that brave little toaster, bruv. It's got to be Noddy Madueke, bruv, with his clown shoes and clown car, still living in Lego La La Land, bruv. He has to be the first one out the door. Dark, you know exactly what I'm talking about, bruv.
100%.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
100%.
He has to go. He has to go. But because we never needed him in the first place. He's played Ethan, started him or brought him off the bench in every single pre-season game, and yet we got him, you know, sitting on the kitchen top like a fucking toaster that you get from Amazon, like for £5 or whatever. You know, what's he gonna do, bruv? What is he gonna do? Get rid, bruv. I don't care if we loan him out for a year.
Do you like this lineup, Nats? Do you like this lineup that you're looking at?
I mean, it is what it is, Rashid. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, not trying to be funny, but it's just like Kepa. Why? If it was Meslier, I could understand it a little bit more. But to be honest, I would start Setford, whatever his name is, whatever the kid's name is. I'd start him. Salmon needs to start because really and truly, if we're going to give Salmon more game time, then I can understand.
You like Salmon? He's decent,
I rate Salmon.
He's,
I rate Salmon. I put him in a bracket with Miles Lewis, Skelly, Ethan, and Max Dowman. We need to keep them 4, bruv, at all costs now, because we let Heaven go to Man United and that other youth project, prospect. Do you know what I'm saying? No, Arteta has to trust the youth. If Arteta wants to be here for another 4 or 5 years, he has to trust the youth.
Exactly.
And if we're not gonna go spend the money, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Get rid of the dead wood and trust in the youth. Bring back Project Youth. Dare I say? Do you know what I'm saying? Bring back Project Youth, bro.
Do you remember that one? Do you remember when they used that one?
Project Youth is gonna save Arteta's ass, bro. Back once again for the Renegade Master with the ill behaviour. But at this moment in time, it looks like criminal behaviour because we're leaking goals now. It's not as stinky as the U-shaped football, but the attack don't look promising. We need an attack coach, bruv. Forget the set piece coach. I know you.
So even when we attack, we're toothless. You're trying to tell me. See, BBK, we're trying to tell me as well. When we're attacking, like Nat said, it's not U-shaped football now. We're attacking, but we're still toothless. We thought that the system was the problem. Where are we at? Do you like this lineup? BBK?
I mean, Project Youth. This is the definition of Project Youth. You're starting 2 16-year-olds in a game, pretty much your last preseason game before the Community Shield. I think this lineup is enough to beat Como because they've made a whole lot of changes as well. I don't see Nico Paz or any of the other their mainstays. I mean, in their team. Yeah, this is enough to beat Como. But like I said, man, it's preseason. I haven't watched any preseason games. I just hope that the players that we're gonna Capier, Skelly, Ethan, Max, and Salmon leave this game unscratched. Because other than that, I think it's an inconsequential game of football. It's good to see him and Seth go head to head, tactical. But I even think at halftime you might see wholesale changes in this game. You know what I mean? But the lineup is cool. Glad to see Eze out there getting something.
You think Como's gonna ball out? You think Como's gonna ball out?
I think Como's gonna try to impose their play. They play the way they play, regardless of the competition. They don't, let's sit back and defend against Arsenal. They're gonna play football, so I expect to see Max. Like Darkside said earlier, Max wasn't particularly great in the last preseason game. Didn't watch it, so I'll take your word for it. I think this is the kind of game where there will be space for Max to operate in, which he's really good at. So yeah, I think this is. 3-2 or something in our favor, maybe, but just hope the guys leave the game uninjured. That's my number one concern.
Yeah, hopefully they do. Manny, big up to you, man. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, let me just say right now, I'm just taking a look at the lineups as well. I sort of echo what BVK is saying, and he certainly made some changes to the defense. Julien and at right back. I just hope he doesn't get turned into Julien vegetables by whoever's playing on the left for Como. And as BBK said, we should also expect some changes. It does look a little bit of a slightly weak lineup. I'm excited for the prospect of Daumann on the right. But defensively, again, we're trying different options. Salmon's usually a right back, and now he's being pushed into the center alongside Gabriel Magalhaes. So clearly it looks as though Mosquera has been told that he can no longer be trusted. But the most important thing is, without Saliba, we need a defender. And as far as Como are concerned, I think you've got to take a look out for the Croatian, Baturina, who will definitely be a big threat. Jan Kuto has come in on loan from Borussia Dortmund. And one thing I will say right now is that they've got Alvaro Morata on the bench. If we let this finished guy score against us, that really is an indictment of just how rubbish we are as a team. And of course, they've also got a certain Trevor Chalobah on their bench. I'm surprised Arteta didn't go for him, but it is what it is. But anyway, thanks a lot, brother. Big up to you. Big up to the amazing panel. Thanks a lot for calling me. I've got to prepare for my watch along, which will be starting in 15 minutes. Check out Hanno Sports Hub. So I won't be watching the game, but hopefully let's try and get our act together. It's our third Champions League team. Let's not lose this one. Yeah?
100%. I agree. Gianni, any last words? Big up, Manny.
Hoping to see a good game. Hoping to see a much better game. This is going to be another decent challenge for us. I got Como finishing in the top 4 in Italy this year, so we'll see how well we handle it.
You watch a lot of Como, Gianni. What do you think is going to happen?
I think Como finishes top. This game, I think. What worries me is that midfield. I don't like the fact that we keep trying to float Skelly out there as the number 6 when he's not a 6, he's a number 8. So I don't really like to see that, but it's at the same time it's preseason, so I don't know. But I'm worried about that midfield because Skelly's not a 6. So we'll see what happens, but maybe 2-2 draw. Maybe we'll see.
Understandable. I can see that. I mean, I watched even clips, and what I've watched from Como, bro. Is Nico Paz playing, by the way? Is Nico Paz?
No, he's
the number
not
10?
playing.
Is he playing for them?
No, he's.
Oh man, he baller, Gianni. That guy, 60 mil.
60 million euros. 60 million euros is all it took to get him.
Mad. How didn't they use him for Argentina as well? There was certain games like. I feel like Nico Paz could have played. I'm really impressed from what I've seen of that player. I can't lie. Nico.
Sorry. I was just going to say they've got potentially a world-class.
No, go on, Don.
and we've got a fucking Beyblade blood. Like,
Bro.
Let it rip.
we
Trust
got
me.
we got
Trust me, man.
Dragoon in
Big up.
midfield, and they got a proper number 10, man. Fuck's sakes.
Yeah.
It's dark, bro. But listen, people, big up to everyone that's locked in. Big up Dark, big up Nats, big up Jez, big up Manny, big up BBK, big up Gianni for always pulling up. What a show, bro. 1 hour and a half just flew by. You know what I'm saying? Big up to everyone that's locked in as well in the chat. Big up to everyone that showed love, smashed the likes, sub to us. It's really appreciated, bro. Really appreciated. We're gonna redirect you lot to Lee Gunner, so show him some love. Yeah, Rashid Raid on the way, and we're out, people.